Welcome back to Rewind Rewatch. I am Andrene.
And I'm Joel.
We are siblings who are rewatching 90s films and then discussing how well they aged. At the end, we will give it a rewind rating between 1 and 5 to discuss whether or not we would want to watch it over and over again or if the movie is just trash and we should throw it in the garbage where it belongs. So today, we are talking about 1997's Liar Liar. This is a PG-13 rating. It's an hour and 26-minute runtime and was requested by SmittyBoy07 on Instagram. So shout out to you.
Shout out to Smitty Boy.
07.
Yeah, shout out to Smitty Boy 07. Shout out to Jim Carrey. I think this is our first Jim Carrey.
Yes, we finally got here. Episode 26.
I can't believe it took us this long to get to a Jim Carrey film. We've had, 2 Julia Roberts, 2 Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Couple Tommy Lee Joneses.
Gosh, yeah.
But this is our first Jim Carrey. We had a couple Robin Williams,
Robin Williams, yeah. Jim Carrey. I mean, so this came out in 97. Okay, so prior to this, Jim Carrey had, of course, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. That was the big one in 94. And for those of you who don't know, before that, he was in Living Color. He was on that show from 1990 to 1994. And then he also did The Mask, 94, Dumb and Dumber, 94, Batman Forever, which was 95, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, 95.
Hold on a second. Hold on, because even before we even get there, can you go back to 1994? Because I don't think y'all understand how insane this is.
Okay.
You said 1994, he did what movies?
Okay, he was also in Living Color, so he's on a TV show in Living Color in 94. He did Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Okay.
The Mask.
And
Dumb and Dumber.
Bro, do you understand that those were all like huge films?
Yes.
So then it's like, Jim Carrey in 1984 is the hottest guy in comedy. So now it's to the point where the rest of the 90s, you're putting him in whatever, and it's like, it's going to do numbers. Whether
Exactly.
It's Truman Show, whether it's this movie that we're talking about today, was the one he had, Bruce Almighty. That might have been early 2000s.
Yeah, that's later on. But The Cable Guy was 96.
Yeah, that one was
And then
a bomb,
he also
though.
did Man on the Moon, 99.
Oh, the Andy Kaufman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So 90s were huge.
So funny story. I am about to talk about another podcast, but they're not competition, so it's fine. Neil Brennan, the comedian, has a podcast where he talks to other comedians, and he had David Alan Grier on. And they were talking about, I love David Alan Grier, that's my man. And they were talking about his experience working on In Living Color, and he talked about when Jim Carrey was supposed to do Ace Ventura.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, he got this movie. It was a movie that had been around. A couple people had talked about potentially doing it, but everybody kind of passed. And Jim is still on In Living Color at the time. Mm-hmm. And when he goes to do this movie, it's just like, oh, okay, he got an opportunity, whatever. And they go to the premiere, and it's like, he's kind of like giving him a pat on the back, like, this movie, this is not gonna work.
Oh, dang.
And like everybody was basically, because it was so goofy, so silly, so over
like,
the top.
This is gonna
that's
bomb.
like, at least he took a shot.
Tried.
He did what he could, and then by the end of the year, he was bigger than everyone else on In the Living Color.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it's insane.
You do one thing and it basically jumpstarts your entire
And it's
career.
like, you never know what's gonna hit. You might have Ace Ventura, you might have Cable Guy. Like, you don't know.
That's very true. You gotta take a chance.
So yeah, I mean, that context I think is important because a lot of this movie is him just like, I don't know that there's any scenes that he's not in. Maybe there's a few with like his son and his ex-wife.
Yeah, but even
he's carrying this movie.
Yeah, but
like,
even then, like, he's about to call in or they're about to call him. Like, he's very much in the entire movie.
Yeah, this is definitely like a Jim Carrey vehicle.
Yes. Okay, so outside Jim Carrey, his wife is played by Maura Tierney, and she is from ER. She was on that show from 99 to 2009, so 10 solid years. She was on that show. I didn't know anything else that she had been in, so I'll leave that there. And then, let's see, Miranda. Miranda is played by Amanda Donahoe, and she was on a TV show called LA Law for 2 years. She was the lady who played the partner at the law firm.
Oh, the boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have...
I was like, who's Miranda?
Yeah.
It took me a second.
And then you have Jennifer Tilly, who plays Samantha Cole. She was the client.
The client, right.
The wife. I know her from all the Bride of Chucky movies. Like, she plays basically the Bride of Chucky.
Oh, okay.
So in 98, it was Bride of Chucky. In 2004, it was Seed of Chucky. And then in 2017, it was the Cult of Chucky.
Not the Cult of Chucky. Chucky became a cult leader?
I didn't watch that movie, so I couldn't tell you. But
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Oh, Lord have mercy. The little boy, Max, was played by Justin Cooper, and he was on a TV show called Brothers Keeper.
I didn't know.
I'd never seen, but he was on it for a year, so I don't know.
But I saw he was on like an episode of like Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
He was on an episode of Full House, I think. Like he did a few things, but yeah. This was definitely his biggest role.
Yeah. Then you have Jerry, the boyfriend. Jerry's played by Carrey. Is it Ilwes? I'm not sure I pronounced that last name. Elwes. But I knew him instantly. He played Wesley in The Princess Bride. Do you remember this movie?
You know what? I don't really remember Princess Bride. I just remember Inconceivable.
Yeah, of course.
I don't really remember anything else.
I used to love that movie as a kid, and I actually recently rewatched it, and I still love it. This movie, it was so much fun.
But don't talk about it because we might cover it later. So
well, it's 87, so no, we won't.
All right, so we won't.
He was in that. He also was in Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is a '93 movie. Mm-hmm. And then he was Dr. Gordon in Saw.
Okay, I did remember him being in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
I knew his face looked familiar. Okay.
He also was in Saw. He was the guy who sawed his leg off in Saw.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, so one sentence summary, right?
Yes.
So, liar, liar. One sentence summary. A lying father. Sorry, nah. That's not how it is.
That's not how it is?
No, that's not how it is. Because it's really... a man cannot lie for 24 hours after his son wishes it on his birthday cake.
Yeah. That's basically the gist of it. So you have Jim Carrey. He plays Fletcher Reede. He's the main character. He's an attorney. He's working at this firm where he's trying to make partner. You can see that like he has different cases. He's good at his job. But from the very beginning, we can kind of see that he's kind of a scumbag, right?
He is a scumbag. I wouldn't even say kind of.
He's kind of a scumbag. We see very early on that his son Max is his birthday, and he completely forgets.
This guy's trash. Because even from the beginning of the movie, we see him like coming out of court. He's going into his office. He's like... They've established very early in the film that he lies chronically.
Yes.
So he lies basically to everyone that he sees as he's walking the hallways.
Hey, Pete. You losing a little weight? I don't know. Maybe. Looks and personality. A double threat guy.
Hey, Mr. Reed.
Hey, man.
It's Randy.
Yeah, I know.
Taking lunch orders, Mr. Reed. Anything?
No, thanks. Had so much for breakfast, I'm just about ready to pop.
He's supposed to have picked up his son, and he's late to pick him up, and then he shows up late and basically just makes up another story. So it's like the first 5 or 10 minutes, he tells like 17 lies. It's just like, oh, this guy's just...
That's how he gets through his day.
Yeah, essentially.
So at the very beginning, you have this scene where all the kids are talking to the teacher in kindergarten, and the son is there, and they're like, what do your parents do? And of course, I'm thinking about Kindergarten Cop. Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
And when they ask Max, like, oh, what's your dad? And he's like, oh, my dad, he's a liar. And they're like, teacher's like, what do you mean he's a liar? And he's like, well, he goes to court and he talks to the judge and he helps people. And they're like, oh, you mean a lawyer? And then Max just shrugs like, same thing, you know? And I'm sitting here like, okay, like the lawyer jokes that like, oh, ha, 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 lawyer, liar. It's synonymous. It's the same thing. Blah, blah, blah.
They play it around pretty hard on this because like the opening scene in the law office is his boss, Miranda. You said her name?
Yeah, Miranda.
And she's talking to this other lawyer about some case where he's basically like refusing to be dishonest. And she's like looking at him like super disappointed. Like, what's wrong with this man? Like, why doesn't he want to win? Juxtaposed with Fletcher, who has no qualms. like, will probably actually even prefers to lie too, like, even when he doesn't necessarily even need to. So they've established early in this film that this is like, okay, this is kind of what lawyers do, and this is how they feel that they have the best opportunity to win in court.
Right, because lawyers just basically lie.
Well,
you go to law school for 3 years to learn how to tell a good lie, allegedly. So,
I mean,
don't make that face. Anyway, so like you said, he forgets about his son's birthday, and so Greta is his receptionist, and
she's his assistant.
She does everything for this man. Like, she went out and buys a gift for his son because she knew that he was going to forget. She takes down all his messages, screens all his calls, basically lies to people on his behalf as to why he can't make meetings. His mom calls all the time, and he's like always coming up with some random excuse as to why he can't come to the phone.
He's been telling his mother that he's been on vacation for like the past 2 months. And she's like, "You sure you want me to tell her that again?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah, sure. But for other people, he's coming up with like different illnesses, or like it's so ridiculous that it's like no one's buying what you're saying. So anyway, because the partners aren't able to get this other ethical attorney to take the case, they're like,
the honest black man.
I'm glad he was black. I'll say that. I was very happy to see that like the one person with a soul was a black man. I was like, yes. He was a good character. He's like, I'm not going to do this. And so the partner goes to him like, hey, Fletcher, like, this is this new case. If you can win it, you might be able to make partner. And he's thinking like, hello, this is what I want for my career. Mm-hmm. And also I have, like you said, no qualms about lying. So
lying that's my middle
let's
name,
go
baby.
ahead and take this case. But the problem with this is of course that night he was supposed to take his son wrestling. Like, it was supposed to, like, he sleeps over, take Max out, do all these things. But of course he gets given this large files of cases to review, and the son is being let down yet again. And we're seeing in the movie that, like, over the years, Max is kind of growing accustomed to his father letting him down. He'll promise him that he'll take him somewhere or that he'll show up, and he either no shows or he shows up way too late. And, you know, each time it happens, of course, he's a kid. He's going to feel down because it's like, you know, so then even for his birthday, he gives him this gift that the receptionist bought. It's a baseball, like, glove with baseball and like a hat or whatever. And he's like, great, Dad, can we play baseball? And he's like, yeah, right after I finish working. And then, of course, his face just drops because he knows Dad's not going to be done working. Like, that appears all the time. And he spent the night with his dad basically by himself.
Nah, he's like a textbook deadbeat dad. So I think the thing about Fletcher that's interesting is his son kind of knows. His son knows that he's not really reliable, but he still gets his hopes up every time. And I feel like he gets away with being an awful dad because he's fun dad.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever he's around, Max has the time of his life. He does the claw. He knows how to, like, he's engaging. He's funny. And Max knows, like, when he's with Dad, he's having a good time. Yeah. Problem is, of course, that Dad is not around a lot. But I think the fact that he has such a good time when he's there, it, like, gives him more rope. And I think not only just with Max, but also with his ex-wife. Like, I feel like she's giving him more chances because she knows how much Max likes being with Dad. Of course. And if he was boring or if he wasn't as fun, like, I feel like he probably would have been cut out of the family a long time ago.
I can see that.
And I also think he knows that, like, he knows he's fun dad. And he knows that he has that kind of in his back pocket. That. So that it's kind of like, oh, I can, you know, he's basically knows he has more rope to kind of like be a deadbeat.
Be trash. Okay, so this is the night of his son's birthday party.
Wait, but you can't forget about Jerry because he's a big part of this too.
Well, yeah. So Jerry is the boyfriend we mentioned earlier who was in, you know, the Saw movies and Robin Hood Men in Tights. So Jerry's the boyfriend of
How would you describe Jerry?
Audrey. He's, you know, kind of a square. He wants to be a good father figure for Max. He is engaging. Like, he, you know, wants to play baseball with Max.
He's available.
He keeps his promises. He's trustworthy.
Hey, you know what? I have my glove in the car. Maybe we can stop at the park on the way home and play catch. And then tonight we can rub oil in it and wrap a big rubber band around it. It'll be great. Hey, great gift, Dad.
And you can tell that he's like really into Audrey. And Audrey kind of is just like he's here. He's a good guy. I think he's safe. I think he's safe. He's the guy. He's the guy that you settle with.
Yikes.
Because it's like, he's not going to cheat on me. He's good on paper. He's reliable. He's not very exciting, but it's
So where does this, from the female perspective, and now I'm going to ask you to speak for all women.
Perfect.
Perfect. I've been waiting. So from the female perspective, I feel like a lot of times you hear this narrative of like, oh, girls like the bad boy, or like they like the guy that's exciting even though they know that he's not really what's good for them. And then that's kind of like, what a younger girl does per se. But then once somebody gets older and they're like single for a while and now they're ready to settle down, then maybe they're like settling, quote unquote, for someone who's less exciting. And so I guess like what have you seen in your, maybe if you don't want to talk about your experience, maybe you can talk about your friends' experiences, but just like, how do you draw that line between like exciting and reliable? And not to say that those have to be opposites, because I think you can be both. But like, I don't know. I've definitely seen, especially when I was younger, a lot of my female friends in like kind of trash relationships.
Like, why are you dating this guy?
Why are you even with this guy?
Yeah.
So like, what do you think that's even about?
Well, again, I think she's trying to date the opposite of Fletcher. Because, like, yes, Fletcher is hilarious and he's probably a ton of fun to be with. But then it's also like, you see like how when it goes bad, it goes so bad. Like the way they like gripe at each other and like he's asking her about her sex life. Like, it's just way too much. Whereas I feel like with Jerry, again, he is the reliable one. He is going to show up for Max when he wants him there. And like, yes, is he corny? Yeah. Is he,
Do you think it's an age thing? Do you think it's like you reach a certain age and then you kind of stop being interested in the bad boy?
Because there's definitely girls I know who are still dating guys where I'm like, why are you with this man? So
at that big age?
Yes, it still happens. I think for her, it was just the fact that like she's coming out of Fletcher's relationship. And so you want something that's going to be a little bit different. And also,
let me not make the same mistake twice.
And also, he definitely is into her more than she's into him.
That is apparent quickly.
And so there's also that security of like, oh, he's not going anywhere.
Well, here's what bothers me about that. It's been said that like you're never really equal, right? Like there's always going to be one person that's slightly more into the other person, which fair enough. I think what bothers me about Audrey in this movie is the fact that Jerry proposes to her and is basically saying like, yo, I want to get married, get proposed, and then, or get engaged rather, and then you and your son move with me to this new job that I have in Boston.
Yeah.
They're in California, so this is the other side of the country. And she's like on board with this plan. Almost it seems like to spite Fletcher. But then it's like, but you're not really, like, why would you agree to this proposal knowing that you actually, she hasn't even told this man that she loves him yet.
And that's the thing that was weird to me because initially, I feel like when he first said, like, I love you or whatever, she kind of was like,
she said thanks.
Yeah, like, she's like shocked and like.
Which is not the response you want
just like
when you tell your partner, I love you.
A little alarmed by it. But then also, it's like, throughout the movie, she gives Fletcher numerous chances, right, to show up. And he's always late.
More than he deserves,
or
to be
things
fair.
always happen. And she gives him this one last effort, like, okay, come by the house at this time, or like we're moving. And for me, it's like, watching the movie, I'm like, wait, so if he had showed up on time, she just wouldn't have gone with Jerry?
Exactly.
Like, that's crazy.
And it's like you're basically like gambling your new relationship based on your ex-husband.
Yeah.
It's like whatever he does is going to decide what I do in my love life.
So it's like you're just not over him, is what it sounds like.
Very much. Which by the end of the film, we see that she very much is not over him.
Yeah, because I'm like, why are you waiting on this man? So yeah, the whole thing, I actually kind of felt bad for Jerry, if I'm being honest, because like, I felt like...
I did too.
So watching as a kid, I thought
the redemption of Jerry.
I thought he was a loser. Like when I was younger, they loser. Like I would watch it.
Huge loser.
And I was watching it and I'm like, him trying to do the claw impersonation, it was like, Jerry, stop.
Nah,
Like
he shouldn't have done that. Though.
I mean,
that was in poor taste.
Yeah, it's bad. But I was kind of like, who's this guy? Get him out of here. Go Fletcher. And watching it as an adult, I'm like, yo, poor Jerry, because he's pouring his heart and soul into building this new family. And he's like, why is she trying to go back for this old trash guy who's not reliable? Like, from Jerry's perspective, it's like, bro, Audrey, wake up. What are you doing?
Yo, and I almost wish that he had actually given her that come to Jesus conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not the point of this movie, so they probably wouldn't have shown that. But it was like, yeah, if Jerry was probably maybe a little bit more confrontational, which we have no reason to believe that he is, then maybe he would have like had that like, yo, wake up conversation. But it's funny because, you know, we talk about like rewatching these movies to see how well they've aged. And it's interesting seeing how from an adult lens, you kind of take the characters differently. Like how we were talking about like when My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, like this character was trash from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I actually didn't realize Julia Roberts was the villain usually until like the last 30 minutes.
Right.
But then it's like, oh, nah, she was the villain from the first 5 minutes.
To be clear, so was her best friend. They both were villains.
Oh, God.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
They both were villains. But anyway.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, the other thing that I'm thinking about comparing this to the movie we just watched, The Parent Trap, which is like, these are really irresponsible parents.
Oh my God.
Like we talk about last week, we talked about like how, I mean, these parents.
You take one, I take one.
Basically just abandoned one of their kids. And then this week, we've got this guy who's not only shows up late, lies to his son, lies to his ex-wife, is completely unreliable, but then he misses his son's birthday party to have sex with his boss.
That
I'm like, bro, like,
was insane.
And he literally, the worst part about it is not like, oh, I got caught up and, oh man, I forgot the time. It's worse than that because he literally calls them during foreplay. And it's like, yo, I'm not going to make it. It's like, bro, like, so you had time to think about this.
Exactly.
And you were just like, yeah, the sex.
He's like, I might make partners. So.
Yeah, like.
And again, it goes to the whole idea of like, oh, look at these, amoral attorneys who'll do anything to get ahead. Like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, this is not how, well, I should say that's not how it works. This is not.
This is how it works. Actually.
I can't speak for all firms.
Actually, I did go to law school, and let me tell you, we had courses on immorality.
We did have courses on ethics, actually, Joel.
Oh, okay.
So I learned a lot about.
How to break them?
No. No, that's not accurate.
Well, I did have a law question for you because
Okay.
I was a little confused by something here. At the beginning of the film, they kind of established that he's a defense attorney and that he leaves the courtroom in the opening scenes after like getting some criminal off. And there's people that are calling his office, oftentimes repeat offenders who are coming back to him time and time again. But the main case in this film is like
it's a divorce case.
It's a divorce case. It's some sort of litigation over a prenup. Mm-hmm. Is that normal? Because a defense attorney, especially someone who does criminal law, they wouldn't be doing
it depends
divorce
on the firm.
court, right?
Depends on the firm. There are definitely people who dabble in all different areas of the law. So it is
I thought
possible.
everybody had specialties.
I mean, again, yes. Generally speaking, if you're doing defense, like you're doing criminal law, you're doing criminal law. But it's not like, oh, this would never happen. Because I definitely have friends who do different areas of the law. So like you may see them in traffic court and then you may see them doing a divorce the next day. So
oh, wow.
If he's well versed in it, there's no reason why he wouldn't be able to do it. It seems that this law firm does a lot. But also I would think in a firm like this, it's very possible that he would be doing mostly criminal law. But it's not like...
Because it's more lucrative.
Yeah, and also like...
This is $1 million case though.
So...
This divorce case.
This is a case where, again, I think the black attorney is probably, this is his area of specialty, but he's like, look, I'm not going to lie.
This,
and they're like, well, what are we going to do? So they have one other attorney apparently in the firm they can turn to, and that is Fletcher. So, I mean...
But he's a winner, too, so they're like, yeah.
Could it happen? It could happen. I would assume there would be a second chair, but...
Right.
But it could. I had a different legal question later on that we'll talk about.
Well, if you have a legal question, I'm not going to be able to answer it.
No, not like a question.
Because...
just something to bring up. Where I was like, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so let's go into the night of the birthday. Like I said, so the birthday happens. He calls. And he's like having sex or foreplay. And he's like, I can't make it. And this is the thing too.
The boss is really riding me. That's what he says.
Fletcher, where are you? We're waiting for you. Max won't cut the cake until you get here.
Oh man. Actually, something has come up. I've got this problem on a new Hayes!
What happened?
Nothing! I stubbed my toe on the desk. Listen, I'm really sorry, but I just can't make it. The boss is, really riding me.
That's what he says. The boss is really
like,
riding
this
me.
partner, like, what the heck was wrong with her? Because, like, he's on the phone with his ex-wife, and she's, like, pulling at his, like, biting his ear, pulling at his shirt. Then at one point, she pushes him down, and she, like lounges on, like, she jumps on top of him. And I was like, what is happening in this scene?
Yeah.
Why was she so open for Fletcher? I couldn't really understand.
Well, between his boss and his client, the women in this movie are not painted in the most favorable light.
They're grabbing his
They
butt.
all seem to be like
Yeah.
these sex-crazed animals.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
except for his wife or his
It's
ex-wife.
true. They're all very oversexed.
Yeah.
Even the woman in the elevator is just like,
Oh, with her breasts
Her
out?
breasts out.
Yeah, I mean, his client had them titties sitting
Oh, my God.
in the middle of a divorce case. Like, why would you come to court like this?
And it's right. You tell
she
your,
had on a blazer with no shirt
it's
underneath.
like you tell your client to dress professionally to come to court.
That joint's not professional at all.
It's like that's not, especially when we're talking about whether or not she had adultery.
Right.
Like you would think like, oh, you want to come in and look a certain way, look very conservative. Like you want to.
But again, like, you know, we talk about things that didn't age well. Like this movie was definitely written by men. I would not be surprised if the director was also a man. And then it's like, oh, this is what we should do.
Yeah.
It's like the women in this film are very much like cartoon characters. Of just
Yeah.
like.
Yes. Okay, so at the party,
It's also a Jim Carrey movie.
Yes.
Who is a cartoon character.
well.
So
So at the party, Max decides he's gonna have, the birthday cake comes out. You get to make a wish, and they light the candles, and he makes a wish. And for his wish, he wishes that for just one day, his dad could not lie. And this is where the movie begins. This is where it starts to get crazy, because Jim Carrey's character wakes up the next day after having sex with Miranda. And she's like, oh, that was great. Like, how was it for you? And he turns and looks at her and he's like, I've had better.
it's the best.
Like that line. So throughout the day, you see him getting ready to go to work and he's like, I've had better. Laughing to himself. And then he's like, I've had better. Like, and he just keeps saying it over and over again. Then he's in the elevator. We see the woman with the big breasts. And he like makes a comment about her boobs being out.
You've got huge juts.
Yeah. And then he's like, Mama. And again, like it's so juvenile, but you can't help but laugh because it's like this is ridiculous. And he's quickly realizing that like whatever thought comes to his head, he has no filter. He just says it. So
Well, this is a major plot hole for me because obviously this is just a silly film that's supposed to just be Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey things. However, the wish was my dad can't tell a lie. It doesn't mean my dad has to keep running his mouth. Like there's multiple times throughout this film where I'm like, bro, you could just not say anything. Like,
Right.
You don't have to keep going on about whatever.
this guy's weight, his cholesterol is up. Always a fat joke in the 90s. Like you cannot get through the movie without a fat joke.
But then even when he's in court, like he's like babbling onto the judge about things that he really didn't need to say. But he gets held in contempt. Like that whole scene pissed me off so bad because I'm like, bro, the case is over. Just leave.
Yeah.
And he keeps going. And then he's like, no, you don't understand. I have to get back to my son. It's like, bro, you could have just said nothing.
I love my son.
He was going crazy. He's going crazy. He's like, how dare you? This is a good man.
Yeah, it's like you won the case.
Bro, you won the case. He's like, I don't have time for this. And the only reason I entertained you was out of my own curiosity of what was happening. This entire case was a farce.
So when the judge came in, like, you're honorable, whatever, and he's like, honorable. He's like, what? And he's like, nothing. It's like, come on, like, just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. Just please
Like,
stop.
yes, because just because you can't lie doesn't mean you have to say everything that comes.
So let me
into
tell you,
your
one of
head.
my favorite parts of this movie is when he has the pen. He's in his office.
That scene was extremely. It might have been the most ridiculous part of the whole movie.
Well, that and the bathroom scene.
Yeah, well, yes. But the fact that somehow his hand.
Wait. So he's in his office and he realizes he can't lie. So he's like, okay, I have this pen. It's a blue pen. And he's like, all I have to do is say the pen is red. Like, that's it. So he's like, the pen is royal blue. Like, he can't. So then he's like, that's fine. I can't say it. I'll just write it. It can't be that hard. So then he's like trying to write red on his desk. So he like puts his hand down, then he puts his knee on top of his wrist, and he's trying to write the word red. He ends up writing blue with exclamation points. And then he's like, his wrist like turns and his hand faces him. And it's like the pen is like attacking his face.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
And then he's like fighting with his wrist, like, and then he ends up writing it. He falls behind his desk, and when he gets up, you see blue written all over his face. Like all over his face, just says blue.
Yeah, that sounds like demon possession to me, bro. That has nothing to do with whether the willingness to lie doesn't make your hand turn on you and write words all over your face.
I love that scene so much. I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh, this is still as good as I remember. It was perfect. That was good. And then the scene where they get to the courtroom, they get to the courthouse in the middle of the case. And so he realizes now he has to represent his client. So for this case, his client is getting a divorce from her husband. They have a prenup. And basically, the wife wants half of the husband's estate, but there's a prenup stating that if there's proof of any adultery, she doesn't get any money, basically. Mm-hmm. So she wants the money because, of course, what?
Because she wants the money.
And the guy is, like, loaded.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's like millions of dollars at stake.
Yeah, she's eligible to make, like, what was it? $10 million or something. Something absurd.
Crazy money. And so they're in court, and he realizes he can't lie. And, of course, he knows his client is lying because she's had, 7 affairs, I think they agreed to? And there's proof of at least one.
But the fact is, it's not even like, yo, this client is lying. When they were having their pretrial meeting, he was encouraging her to, like, lie.
That's the thing.
And to, like, get him for as much as he's worth. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, this is not your job as a lawyer, is to, like, manipulate your client into what you think they should want.
The more money she gets is the more money they get.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So for him, it's like, this is more money that I can bring into the firm, therefore I can make partner. It's all about the money.
But isn't your job to, like, win their case? Not to tell them what their case is supposed to be. It's like, bro, like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're going way out of bounds. Because she wasn't even asking for all that. She was just like, yo, like, this is what happened. And
he's a good father, so custody's not an issue. I just want to get some money. Like, that's it. And, like, I cheated on him 7 times. Like, yeah.
He's like, get him for everything, including custody of the kids. Like, he was, like, beasting. And she was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. So he basically convinced her to go this crazy in the first place before the curse.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great. So they're in the courtroom, and he's realizing now, like, I can't do this, because even before he was trying to ask a question, if he knows the answer to the question is going to be a lie, he can't even ask it. That's the problem he was trying to fight, which just kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense, but okay.
But I also feel like he kept asking these leading questions, which he could have just asked regular questions. Like, he's like,
well, when you're questioning your witness, you do tend to lead. Sorry.
Because that was his witness, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it true that you've never had an affair? Like, stuff like that. And so it's like, you're just asking yes or no questions. But couldn't he just have phrased it differently? I don't know.
Have you ever had an affair? But even if he says that, like, the answer regardless, like, I know she's going to lie. I can't even ask the question. So that became the issue. So he realizes he can't go through with it, and he's like, I know what I can do. A bathroom break, Your Honor. So the judge is like, all right, sure, you can go to the restroom. And he runs out. Bro, this scene is literally unhinged. He goes in there, and he's trying to figure out, like, how do I get out of going back to court tonight? Because I know the curse is done at the end of the day. So if I can go back to court tomorrow and just get a recess, I'll be good to properly defend my client tomorrow. So he goes into the bathroom. This man starts banging his leg against like the radiator. He's banging his head. He puts his head underneath the toilet seat and starts slamming the seat up and down on his head. He's running into the bathroom stall, into the walls. He
bangs his knee on the radiator.
At one point,
which I'm pretty sure radiators like that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. It would have.
No, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I recognized it because I remember seeing those growing up. I remember them being in our apartment growing up. I remember banging my head on it a few times as a kid.
At one point, like...
But those things, those are safety hazards. It's like, how did we live like this?
Well, you did bust your head on a radiator twice.
As I said.
We'll tell that story later on at some point. But at one point, he actually pulls, like, soap and starts putting it in his eye. I was like, why is he doing this? I'm so confused.
That scene is mad funny. He rips his suit.
So
he's punching himself in the face.
Funny fact about that, when he beats himself up in the restroom, there's no sound effects used. What you hear is actually the sound of him running into things and like hitting his head against things.
Yo, nobody else could have done this movie, man.
Like he was doing it himself. They said that like
Jim.
like he poured himself so much into the role that by the end of filming every day, he would be so exhausted. Like,
I bet.
Like completely depleted of all energy because he was just like dead from acting like a buffoon for 12 hours.
It's funny because I'm watching this movie with my girlfriend and she's like, yo, who do you think is better between him and Robin Williams? And I'm like, yo, I don't even know how to compare them because I feel like Robin Williams does like all the voices and he's like more like spastic and he's kind of like all over the place. Like he switches tone and he switches everything. Whereas like Jim Carrey to me is like more of the physical comedy.
Like the facial expressions he does.
Yeah, the facial expressions, but just like every scene, as you said, in terms of him expending energy, like he's throwing his entire body into every joke.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes movies like Ace Ventura or The Mask. It's like him, like his physical comedy. Even when he was on In Living Color, it was just like a lot of just how he would contort his body, his facial expressions, the silly faces. And then that was just like, yeah, I feel like that's what makes this movie even funnier is the fact that he's doing it.
So what's funny about bringing Robin Williams was that he actually turned down the lead for this role.
Wow. See, but to me, that's a different movie. And not to say that it wouldn't be funny still.
Yeah,
I think it would still be funny.
But it would be different.
His type of humor, it would have come off way different.
So who else they actually considered was Steve Martin?
Okay, yeah.
Those are the three that were up.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
He was the 80s version of Jim Carrey. Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
So, but I'm just thinking about him being like, I can't lie. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's Carrey. Like, who else is gonna do it like that?
Yeah, and then even when he's like pulling his hair while he's in court.
So at the end of the movie, they have all these like outtakes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine trying to work with this man without like breaking out in laughter every couple of seconds.
They wasted hours and hours of tape doing this movie because it seems like he's just hamming it up. Like
he is.
Every few takes, he's probably doing them completely different. So then as a director and an editor, you have mad options of like which take do I even keep?
Exactly.
They're cracking jokes in the middle of it, so then you're probably having to reset time and time again because it's like, bro, come on, this is funny, but like we've been here for like 3 hours now. Like, can we wrap this scene up, please?
We've been here for 3 hours.
It's like, bro, this is a 5-minute scene. Like, come on, bro. He's having the time of his life, and all the extras are cracking up. Though you could hear the sound. The whole crew is in the back, just like laughing.
Absolutely.
He's on stage right now. Like he's basically doing like a one-man show, and they're just recording it.
Exactly. As an actor, you kind of have to like be ready to like not laugh. Or like,
you do.
That's the hard thing is like trying to keep a straight face and be mad at him when he's doing all this. Like for instance, the scene in the boardroom.
See you around, dickhead. That scene is mad funny. That scene is hilarious.
All right, you want to talk about it?
Yes. So basically, Miranda, who at some point in the movie, I was like, yo, this woman kind of looks like Jafar. A little
Miranda?
bit. I thought she kind of looked like Jafar. But
I'm going to do a side-by-side photo and post that.
Do a side-by-side. So Miranda, So this is after she's mad at him because he said he's had better.
Yeah.
So she's like, yo, screw this guy. Like, he's one of our best lawyers, but apparently she wants to get him fired. I don't know.
Well, she overhears him talking to his receptionist about the fact that he can't lie for a day. Which, again, why would she even believe that? Like, I'm going to believe there's a curse that he can't lie for 24 hours?
Yes. Why would she believe that? But also the fact of why would she try to expose it? He's one of the best lawyers you have on staff.
It doesn't make any sense.
So to me, the only impetus she would have to expose him is she's upset about the fact that he said he's had better. Anyway,
Right.
She takes him into a big boardroom with one of the other partners at the head of the table. And she basically heard Fletcher talking trash about him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, yo, what was that thing you were saying earlier about
This guy.
About this guy? So then he basically just like repeats the whole thing about how he's pretentious and this, that, and the third, and he sucks. So then the room is just dead silent. And then the dude just starts cracking up. Like, yo, that's hilarious. I love a good roast.
Uh-huh. And he's like, do that person.
He's like, do this guy, do this guy. So then he just goes around the table and just says everything about everybody. This guy's a sycophant. If he has his head so far up your ass, I can't tell where he ends and you begin. Ha, 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 ha. This guy sucks. This guy this. So he's just going around the whole room and just frying everybody. This guy wears a headpiece. It looks like roadkill.
You have bad breath caused by gingivitis. You couldn't get a porn star off. Your hairpiece looks like something that was killed crossing the highway. I don't know whether to comb it or scrape it off with a shovel and bury it alive. Loser! Idiot! Wimp! Degenerate!
So then he's just going ham. And then the whole room is just like cracking up, like laughing. And Miranda's tight because she's like, yo,
Tight.
my plan backfired. She's just standing there like, yo, what happened? Like, I thought this was going to be the end of this man.
But when he starts laughing in her face, I died.
Nah, that joint's
like,
mad
I
funny.
died.
And I also noticed, I don't know his name. I probably should have looked it up. But one of the guys sitting in that room plays the lawyer on The Wire. So like he was the lawyer who was basically defending all the drug dealers. Okay. So the guy who he calls a kiss ass, that's the guy.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have any lines in this movie, but he's a significant part of The Wire because he's like the drug dealer's lawyer. So he's always the one like getting them off in court. And I was like, oh, this is crazy because The Wire started like what, 2000? So I feel like this was
before he was
just
really
like
known.
Yeah. And a lot of the people on The Wire were generally unknown actors. So yeah, that was interesting to see. But yeah, that scene is hilarious. That scene and the other scene that I love is when he's rushing from court to try to get to Audrey's house. And he's driving like a madman.
Oh, and the cop pulls him over?
And he gets pulled over by the cop. Yo, that scene is so iconic to me because he's like, do you have any idea why I pulled you over? And then he's like,
Here goes. I sped. I followed too closely. I ran a stop sign. I almost hit a Chevy. I sped some more. I failed to yield at a crosswalk. I changed lanes in the intersection. I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light and speeding.
He's like, is that all? And he's like, I got unpaid parking tickets. And then he pulls over the glove box.
No, but it's
and
the delivery of it. Like, he rattles off this entire monologue of things without taking a breath.
It's great.
And it's just like, yo, this is bars.
It's like, who is this guy?
Yo, nah,
Like,
he's going crazy in this whole movie. He's giving you a bunch of different looks, too. But this is the thing. If you saw Steve Martin or if you saw Robin Williams, like, they could pull this movie off.
Yes.
But they would have delivered that line
Completely differently.
He would have had his own Robin Williams spin.
Yeah.
It probably still would have been funny.
Let's say he still would have gotten a laugh, for sure. But yeah, even like when he's in the bathroom beating himself up and a guy walks in and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm kicking my ass.
Do you mind?
Like, what? Like, what is wrong with you? But then so after doing
Your Honor, I was assaulted by a madman.
But then after all that, the judge is like, well, can you continue? And he's like, I can. He's like, oh, I applaud your effort. Like, we'll see you back in a few hours. It's like, after all that,
Couldn't lie.
he still had to go forward with the case that evening, and he could not lie. So now he's outside, and he's trying to figure out. So there's this scene, he's sitting on the steps outside the courtroom, and he's like, his suit's all crumpled up and ripped. He's like, his mouth is open, his head's hanging to the side, his hand is out, and someone walks by and puts a dollar bill in his hand. Because they think he's a beggar, and he's like, He's like, huh? And the client's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing about the case? And he's like, don't worry about it. I'll figure something out. But this whole time he's thinking like, how can I possibly win this case? Because like, I cannot lie. I cannot help her. They have proof that she's having an affair. There's an audio file of her having crazy, wild, loud sex with this man.
Extremely loud.
Oh, God.
Offensively loud at that.
And their kids were there. Like, why were the children in the courtroom? Because she wanted them there for empathy. And he's like, yeah, I feel bad for them already.
But it's not a jury trial.
There's a judge.
Like,
He doesn't care.
Yeah, you don't have to play to there is no jury, bro. The kids don't have to be here with their nanny. That was ridiculous.
It was.
This woman sucks so bad.
Yeah, but then he ends up realizing that she lied about her age. It comes down to this. She lied about her age to get married. She said that she was over 18, when in reality she was under 18. And so
the prenup is null and
void. The whole
void.
idea. So I'm watching this and it's like, okay, but she wasn't an adult.
How did she sign the prenup in the first place?
How did she get married? Without her parents signing or court approval, it's like the marriage can be annulled.
She just said, "Oh, I'm 18," and they were like, "Okay."
Yeah. So it's like,
don't they check your ID or don't you have to put like your social security number on the prenuptial agreement?
How did she get married
something?
to begin with? That didn't really make sense because it's like the prenup is null and void.
I don't really understand.
How is the marriage? He could have just annulled the marriage.
So a prenup is there like specific documentation or it's just
you can draft up whatever you want.
So it's just two people write something and they sign it.
The only thing you can't agree to beforehand is custody of the kids because that's what has to be the best interest of the child.
Right.
So you can't agree like 20 years from now the kids are automatically going to you. But money wise, like yeah, you could say like yeah, if you have an affair, you get nothing.
But a marriage contract, the state is not checking who you are before you.
Well, yeah, you gotta show your ID.
Okay.
You gotta show your ID or yeah.
She would have never actually gotten
So that's why I'm like, how did she like? Who did she lie? Like she just.
They would have been like, wait a second. Wait a second.
No, but I'm 18. That's why I was like, they didn't say anything about the marriage, like her parents agreeing or the court agreeing to this marriage.
It's fine.
So that kind of was like,
Yeah.
They could have annulled that marriage and he would have had to pay her nothing. But anyway.
It's fine.
But yeah, so she lied about the prenup. And so it was like, oh, he saved the day, you know. And of course he does it in the most Jim Carrey way. Like
pretends to be Michael Jordan in the middle of the courtroom.
This contract is void. The fact that my client has been ridden more than Seattle slew is irrelevant. Standard community property applies, and she is entitled to half of the marital assets, or $11.395 million. Jordan fades back, swoosh, and that's the game. Nothing further, Your Honor.
What also killed me was like when he was talking to her before court. This is before he even took the case, and he was trying to convince her, like, you know, as to what she should be doing. And at first she's like, oh, you know, I cheated, you know, whatever. And he's like, no. He's like, where would Tina Turner be if she said, hit me again, Ike, and next time put some stank on it. I was like,
Jesus. That was so cringe.
I was like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah, there was a few lines like that,
bruh,
that I was like, yeah, we probably didn't need him talking about wearing gang colors and
oh my God,
busting a cap.
Yeah, busting. Yeah,
I could have done without that.
We didn't need that. Also, the boardroom scene.
Yeah, not great.
He like mimics like scalping someone and like doing like a Native American type
noises.
Yeah, I was like,
you're not doing that anymore either. Yeah, that didn't age super well.
Another thing that was kind of 90s that would occur then, but not so much now, is like his son's teacher has no idea who he is. He just walks into the school,
yeah,
opens the door, and is like, "Hey, I'm Mac's dad. Like, his father. Like, I need to see him." And she's like, "Okay." I'm like,
Okay, I'm actually glad you brought that scene up because I have a lot to say about that scene. I was just waiting because I wanted to address it properly and fully. But when he goes to this boys' school, goodness gracious. So, mind you, this is the day after he's missed his son's birthday party to sleep with Jafar. So now the next day, he's like, yo, I can't lie. So he basically gets like a birthday cake with candles, a bunch of little party hats, sits his son down in the playground in the middle of recess, and he's like, bro, just do it again. And this time, wish that I can lie. So
Can you imagine your dad asking you to do this?
I'm like, this entire film, he has not made time for his son. And the one time that he does is so he can have this fake birthday party in the middle of his son's recess so that his son can allow him to lie again.
He didn't say sorry for missing your party.
No.
Like, none of that.
He's like, yo, do it again. And this time, say, I wish my dad can lie.
And then the thing about it.
I'm like, yo, this is diabolical. This is trauma.
It is trauma.
His son is going to be going to his therapist talking about this recess 20 years from now.
Because if you notice that he says to his son, like,
I can't wear birthday hats anymore. I don't
birthday
even
cake, forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. No candles,
No
please.
candles.
I'll just take a piece of apple pie and get it on with it.
He says to his son, everyone lies. He's like, mom lies, even like the great Jerry lies, everybody lies. And he's like, I mean, I guess that's true, but like, the only person that makes me feel bad. And it's like,
he
bro.
He cooked him.
Like, hello. So that whole thing was just, of course,
again, this goes back to Parent Trap. It's like, yo, you're
a bad father.
You're creating trauma for your child.
Yeah.
With your own dishonesty.
Yeah.
And selfish dishonesty too. Like, you're not even thinking about what's happening with your kid
at all.
You're just doing it all for yourself because you want to make partner.
Yeah.
And the only reason you're not with your wife anymore is because you were constantly cheating on her.
Yeah.
So that's also just like, he's just a very selfish person. And it takes apparently 24 hours of him not being able to lie, and he changes his entire personality. Yeah. So that was great.
Well, I will say, so going back to that recess scene, after he asked his son to make the wish, his son does so begrudgingly, and he's like, "Let's try and test it out." So he goes over to approach a woman who's tending to the kids, and of course he says something rude to her. We don't hear it. It's inaudible. And then this is also a very 90s thing. She smacks him across the face, and I'm like, I remember in 90s, like in every film, some kind of comedy, it's always something about a guy saying something to a woman,
something offensive,
she not liking it, and then her smacking him. Either the smack across the face or the drink in the face.
Yeah, throw water in the face.
That was like in every 90s film, it was like something like that, or like you touch a woman or whatever, she's gonna, how dare you? And then she just smacks you across the face. And it was funny. It was like, oh, good for her, getting back at him.
I'm glad we.
It's like, just stop harassing women.
I'm glad we did away with that.
Just stop harassing women.
Well, speaking of things that didn't age well, I think we got most of them, but there was another one that I took note of, and this is after he gets held in contempt. And what's her name?
Greta. I know what you're gonna say.
His assistant, who had basically recently quit because she basically found out that he lied in order to not give her a raise.
Yeah.
He said that there was no money in the budget, but really he was just being a cheapskate. So she quit, but she ends up coming to bail him out. And then she shows up, he's like, oh, I didn't think you were going to come for me. Thank you for being here, da-da-da. And she's like, all right, well, before I let you out, I just need to know, have you been sexually molested yet? Because I can still circle the block.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, we're making that joke?
Yeah. Back then, yes. Which goes back to the Jawbreaker thing about was rape funny? Like back then we would make jokes.
I was like, this is not even like a good joke,
at
number
all.
one. And number two, like, why would she... Yeah, it felt out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would this woman say this to him? And
she's like, trying to get back at the boss.
Yeah, if you haven't been raped yet, I'll come back later. It's like what in the world?
Yeah, that didn't... Well, also not aging well is when he's... in the beginning, there's a guy outside the courthouse who's always like begging and asking for money. And the guy's like, do you have any change? And of course he lies and says like, no, he doesn't. He calls him the decay of Western society. And it's like, bro, you have no idea why this man is where he is now.
I mean, Fletcher is the decay of Western society. Like, he represents everything that's wrong with Western society.
It's like, bro, this man is not it.
He's dishonest. He's putting criminals back on the street. He's driving an expensive car in the middle of the city without giving any sort of money to people less than him. He's lying to his son.
He's
underpaying
his employees.
Wife. He's not paying his tickets. Like, he is the decay of Western society. He's an awful human.
He really is. He really is.
And so, yeah, I mean, we're led to believe that throughout the course of this film, 24 hours of him being unable to lie essentially like changes his entire outlook on life. Because by the end, he's supposed to be a good guy. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but
that's the implication, right?
Yeah,
it's Now he appreciates Audrey. He appreciates his son. After he chases them down in the airport like a madman.
I mean, that scene.
It's complete chaos.
He's driving. First of all,
how's he even get there? Let's start there.
Yeah, he hides in a bag.
No, he has a bag. He has a bag wrapped around his legs, and he goes through the conveyor belt.
Then by the time he gets out, he's in the bag.
I don't know.
So somehow he put himself inside somebody's luggage, and then he like crawls out of it. He steals one of those portable plane chairs, like not chairs, the sets of stairs.
Yeah, the stairs.
So he's driving the set of stairs
down the runway.
Somehow he's keeping pace with the plane.
Yeah, it doesn't make
that's
sense.
about to take off.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I guess they were attacked.
I'm pretty sure that thing goes like 15 miles an hour. And I'm pretty sure a plane that's about to take off goes a little bit faster than 15 miles an hour. I don't know.
Maybe the plane was taxiing for a while. Maybe it was a lot of traffic. Maybe there's traffic.
That's what it was. He climbs up the stairs. He's looking through the windows. Max! Max!
This is when poor Jerry is trying to comfort Audrey. Like, oh, we're about
Meanwhile,
to move.
Audrey's they haven't even taken off yet. She's already like 2 drinks in. And I'm like, it sounds like you don't want to go to Boston
at
bro.
all.
Like, maybe you should have just told Jerry, no, I don't want to move to Boston. Yeah. You could have not moved to Boston
and still not been with Fletcher.
And still cut off Fletcher.
It's not either or.
It didn't have to be like, well, one way she has to end up with a man. So if it's not Fletcher, it's got to be Jerry.
It's the 90s, so yeah, she
and
did.
Like I said, this is obviously a movie that's written by men. You could tell because it's like the women are just there as like these objects of whatever narrative they're trying to utilize to talk about the men. They're just like plot points.
Because even the other female is a female attorney. She was the one who played the therapist in Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions, right? Yeah.
She was there to be like just the opposite side of him. Like she was actually trying to present her case, and she and Fletcher are going at each other.
Because we don't really know anything about Audrey. Like we don't know anything about her as a character because she's not really built out to be anything other than
Max's mom,
the ex-wife. Who is fed up with Fletcher's antics. But there's no sense of what her personality is. It's just kind of like she's just there, like I said, as a means to an end for the plot point of this is what he has to lose.
Right. So, yeah, he ends up chasing him down because what ended up happening was he was not able to get to the house in time. And so because of that, because Joel mentioned before, he got held in contempt of court. He ends up winning the case, but after that, the judge asked, is there agreement on custody? The wife now is saying, no, I'm going to milk him for anything I can get. And he mouths off at the judge, gets thrown in jail, and then that's when Greta comes in and asks him about the rape.
But to your point, like, this is this concept of like, yo, your dad's still not here yet. Let's go. It's like, so if Fletcher shows up, you're missing your flight to Boston?
It just doesn't make sense.
And then what are you telling Jerry? Well, Fletcher showed up on time. So I can no longer marry you.
It just didn't make sense.
Fletcher made a promise.
And he kept it.
He kept it.
For once. I got to give him another chance.
For the first time in 10 years, he kept the promise. Well, you know what that means? Sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, but... oh, man. So he ends up, he flies out there, he stops the plane, because of course the plane can't take off with a madman.
Causes a major accident.
Oh yeah, all the bags get messed up, which means all those flights are going to be delayed.
The entire airplane, the entire airport rather, like every flight's going to be delayed for like the next 2 hours, because now they're going to have to reorganize all these bags. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if their flight even takes off, because they just get off the plane and go back home.
I think everyone's off now at this point. I think the flight's over. You can't. I can't take off. There's a man on the runway, like on the stairs. I can't take off.
Yeah, he would have spent the next few months in a jail cell.
Yes,
but maybe they just skipped ahead of that part.
Because they fast forward to a year later to Max's birthday.
Yeah, after he gets out of jail. So now we're back at Max's birthday. Max opts against the birthday party this time.
I was noticing that. I was like, where are all his friends?
It's literally just him, his mom, and his dad sitting in a dark dining room with one sad birthday cake.
Number 6 candle.
They don't even have hats this time.
It's nothing.
It's just them sitting with the cake.
They're like, make a wish, Max.
It's like, all right, let's do it again.
He does it, and then they fast forward a little bit, and it's dark, and he's like, Mom? Dad? And then he turns the light on, and you see Fletcher and Audrey kissing.
90s movie kiss.
Yeah. And
it's happening.
And they're like, Max? did you wish for your mom and dad to get back together? And he's like, no.
He's like, nah, dogs. Y'all been wanting to kiss each other this whole
Right.
movie.
It's nothing to do with me. And they're like, oh, maybe we do like each other. I was like, okay. It was all.
Jeez.
It was all very much like, oh, so now they're gonna get back together.
Remarried, and he's gonna cheat on her again.
Oh, that's a shame.
Great.
But so one thing we kind of skipped over was the birthday party. Did you notice this clown?
That clown. Oh my God.
Looks like a hobo.
That
I was
clown,
like,
number one.
Happy birthday. I'm so happy today.
That clown should not be around children. I don't want that clown anywhere near my kids. I definitely don't want them entering my home.
Why did he look like that?
That clown was in bad shape, man. He didn't look like he didn't look happy at all. He looked very miserable with his life.
I had to rewind it because I was like, wait a minute.
He definitely had a flask in his back pocket.
Oh, for sure.
100. That's a drinking clown if I've ever seen one.
He definitely smells like.
So it's like Jack Daniels.
It's coming out of his pores, like for sure. For sure.
Oh my God.
I didn't understand why he was there. That definitely threw me for a loop.
Jeez, that clown. All right. Well, I mean, I think the theme of this movie is fairly obvious, but what did you come up with?
Tell the truth? Lawyers can win cases without lying?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
For all you non-believers out there.
It's possible. It can be done.
And then, I mean, the bigger picture is like to be there for the people that you care about. Because at the end of the day, he did actually care about Max. It just took him a while to realize, like...
It took his son getting on a plane to Boston before he was like, all right, well,
let
me do something about this.
Yeah. But hey.
And to be fair, he still wasn't on time.
That wasn't his fault, though. It was his fault. Well, yeah.
It was his fault.
He was mouthing off of the judge.
Yeah, like he could have just let it slide, and he could have just left.
And went straight to the house. Yeah, you're right.
But he's like, I'll hold myself in contempt. It's like, bro, you're doing way too much. Don't you need to get to your son?
Hold myself in contempt.
It's like, this man is an idiot. Oh, man.
Any other things? You want some facts?
Let's do some facts.
Okay. So, this movie is very, very closely, very similar to a Twilight Zone episode. It was called The Whole Truth. And yes, I watched the episode. It's about a car salesman who basically is unable to lie after he buys a Model A car. The car is haunted. As part of the haunt, it curses him with the inability to lie. And he's a car salesman, so of course you know.
Well, how is he going to sell cars if he can't lie? Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's the whole plot of the Twilight Zone episode. There's even a discussion with his assistant about a raise, about why he couldn't give the guy a raise. And I was like, oh, this is just like the movie. So that was kind of interesting.
So was it based on that episode, or is this a coincidence?
I think it's loosely based off of the episode, but they made it, you know. So I wanted to ask you, actually, who do you think has a worse reputation for lying, a car salesman or an attorney?
A car salesman.
Yeah, I think so.
And
too.
I think that's also because people deal with car salesmen more often. Like, not everybody's going to find themselves in court, but anybody who drives is going to find themselves buying a car at some point. So then it's like, that experience, I think, is more universal.
That's fair. Not to mention the fact that, like, I know, like, as a woman, a lot of times, like, you want to bring a man with you. That sounds terrible.
No, it's true.
But it's like, or someone, I should say, who has, like, a better knowledge of vehicles, whether it be, you know, your sister, your girlfriend, or whatever, but, like, someone who knows more about cars, because, like, I don't know a lot about it. So, like, you could very well get me, and I just wouldn't know, like, oh, I don't need to get this. But, you know.
I mean, there's even the scene in this movie where Fletcher's car gets towed, and the guy basically scratches his car.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, you scratched my car. He's like, no, I didn't. He's like, you're lying, da, 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 da. And if I try to sue you, I'll just go to small claims court and I'll end up spending more money than I need to. And he's like, oh, so you've been here before.
Yeah.
So it's like, even in this movie about a lying lawyer, they still have, like, the dishonest mechanic.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think the car salesman kind of got a worse rap. We mentioned the fact that the bathroom scene was all him doing that because he was crazy. Oh, this is interesting. So the pen scene where he writes blue all over his face, there is a part next to his chin where they write, it's like blue and then it says BB King. Like blues.
Oh my God.
And I went back and around it and saw it's like right on his chin. It says BB King. I'm like, that's weird. And then mentioning in Living Color, the end of the scene where he stops the plane from taking off, and it was like all the like EMT crews and the ambulance and the stretcher. So before they pan over to showing Jim Carrey's character on a stretcher, if you look into the crowd, you see his character, Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh wow!
He's there with the fire like costume on, and he's like talking to a walkie-talkie like this, like looking really ridiculous. And it's Jim Carrey doing a cameo as Fire Marshal Bill in the movie.
That's fire!
I'm like, that is so cool.
That's hilarious.
So you want to go back and see that at the end of the movie? It's
good.
Pretty funny.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Jim Carrey is something else, man. He killed this movie. So I guess it's down to our ratings, right?
Yeah. Let's do ratings. I'll go
All right.
first. I think this is a movie I've seen a fair amount of times. So it's definitely not like the first time I've seen it. And it's one of those movies that like it'll come on like TBS all the time, and then you just like, you know, maybe you watch a few scenes before you flip to something else. But I feel like it has pretty high replay value, mostly just because it's a movie that's mostly just predicated on Jim Carrey being ridiculous. It was just something that he does very well. And when I think about my favorite Jim Carrey movies, this is one of the ones that's on the top of the list because it's just him just riffing and just like I said, like the bathroom scene, the boardroom scene, him getting pulled over by the cop. Like it's funny, and it's just like it's entertaining to see him act like such a goofball. The theme is fairly basic, like, you know, don't lie, be honest. And you know, the kid's cute too.
Yeah,
so it's nice. It's nice seeing that little kid in the film. But yeah, like I feel like because it's also an hour and a half, which is nice, short, sweet, and to the point. I'm gonna give this a 4.
Okay, that's a solid score. I'm going between two different scores, and I'm trying to decide where to go.
You
with
could
this.
cut the difference.
I could
Split the difference.
I could do that. But yeah, I feel like a lot of my reasoning is similar to what you said. Timing is perfect for me. Nice sweet spot. A few things didn't age well that we mentioned.
Yeah,
where it
that's
was
definitely
like,
true.
So, you know, you're not going to get a perfect score with that because a lot of stuff was like, maybe we shouldn't be doing all of that. But so much of it was so funny still. Like, I was concerned, like, a lot of times you watch stuff when you're younger and you watch it again when you're older and it's not as funny. Mm-hmm. But he was still funny. So so I definitely still enjoyed it. I'll be concerned. I'll go with 4. I was going between 4 and 4.5, but because of a lot of stuff that didn't age, I think the 4 would be a little bit better of a score. So
yeah, there's a few cringe moments for me too.
I'll stick with the 4.
All right, there it is. Listeners, let us know how you would rate this movie. Maybe we should start asking people what they would rate the movie to see what kind of responses we get, because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening who are like, how could they give Jawbreaker a 1? So yeah, let's see. What would you give? What would you give to Liar Liar on a rewind rating from 1 to 5? Let us know. You can hit us up on Instagram, on Twitter or X. We're on Facebook.
We're on Threads.
We're on TikTok. We're on all the sites. You can also leave us an email at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com if you have suggestions for other movies that we should rewatch and rate. Let us know.
Hit us up. All right, y'all.
We'll be back next week.
Tell the truth.
I can't lie.